Well, hello, all of you Virginia brides out there. Welcome back to another edition of Virginia Bride Chat. I have today with me Ashely Dorton of Photography by Ashely Dorton. Hi, Ashely. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. So, tell us a bit about what you specialize in with your photography business.
So I specialize in weddings, boudoirs, family sessions. Those are kind of the main things I specialize in.
Well, we're all about weddings here, of course, at Virginia Bride. So, how long have you been shooting weddings as a wedding photographer?
So I started in 2013. My first wedding was in 2014, and it's been about 8 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. So I bet you've shot a lot of interesting weddings. So tell us a little bit about your wedding style.
So my style, I like to say, as editing wise, is more very bold and bright and colorful. I like to be true to color. But my shooting style, I love capturing details and just the raw moments of, especially like the wedding day or family sessions, kind of enjoying the kids running around and just the real energy of the whole day.
Right. So more of the photojournalism where you're capturing the whole story.
Yes,
Fabulous.
definitely.
So, how would you describe the way you work? Tell us a little bit about how you work the day of the wedding.
So I am very type A. I'm very honest. I'm very organized, and I do kind of like to just go with the day. Like I make sure we go with a good flow, but I like to have kind of a timeline just to kind of have an idea of how we are going to organize everything to have a general idea of how, we want everything to flow. But I'm really flexible. But if you need direction, things like that, I'm right there to help direct and keep things in line as well.
Well, and again, I think that's very important because you definitely want somebody who's organized and can keep everybody moving so you don't run late, run over when they're supposed to be doing something else, at that point.
Correct.
So it is very important to have a knowledgeable professional who's going to keep everybody moving. So do you travel for weddings or do you just do locally here in Virginia?
So I do both. I have a lot of local clients. I do a lot of local weddings, but I have traveled out of the country. I do travel out of the state for weddings and for other photo shoots as well. So yes.
Nice. And I think you did something in India. Tell us a little bit about that.
I did. So about 4 or 5 years now, I got a great opportunity to go to India. Um, it was it was amazing. It was a very long plane ride, I'll be very honest, but
Oh
um,
yeah.
yes, very long plane ride, but it was a great opportunity. Indian weddings are very different. They're about 4 days long.
Yes.
But I got to enjoy the whole experience. They took me shopping, they got me traditional Indian clothes. Um, I
Oh
was able to
wow.
also, yeah, and it was definitely, I had to work on my feet. There's no timeline. It was just we had to go with the flow. And then they also hired me for the second week to fly back to and let's see, we flew into Indore and then we went back to New Delhi and we just did a week of traveling. So we saw the Taj Mahal, the Lotus Temple, and I got just to really enjoy the true Indian culture and life. And that was a great experience to have and gorgeous pictures to go with the day. So it was a really neat trip.
That is great. I bet that was a really unique experience. Absolutely. And speaking of unique, so tell us a little bit about what is unique about your wedding packages that you offer to couples.
Right. So I do like to make them customizable. I have different options for every bride's needs based on the hours, things like that. I also help them kind of put together a timeline, like I said, because I like to be organized, that we even break down the family pictures to exactly what family pictures are important. And I have my second shooter help kind of go through that list and rock them out, as I call it. And then mostly just I give them my personal phone number, and I like to make sure like any questions they have throughout the day that they can text me or call me, and that I'm there to help and answer as I'm available.
That's great because, again, that's very important for people to understand. What would you say makes you stand out as a photographer?
Um, Definitely the organization, helping, with the timeline and just helping them with anything they need. But also, I'm very positive. I tell people not to stress, really just relax and enjoy that day. And I'm fun, I'll get on the dance floor if you don't know the dance and teach you it because I've been to all of them. And I'm great at direction when it comes to bride and groom pictures, but I also can sit back like and take the documentary style of the other important things that you don't really notice I'm there as well. So I kind of am good at doing both sides when I need it.
Right. Well, that's very insightful, I think, for people to understand when they're looking at photographers for their weddings. You really need to look at these important issues. And I think it is very important, again, like I mentioned earlier, about the organization, because you have to have someone that is in charge, especially if a couple doesn't have a wedding planner. So I think that's, a very important part. So what is your favorite part of shooting a wedding?
Ooh, so I would say, and of course, a photographer is very artsy, so I love the details. Um, that's probably my favorite, just to get the little details that you spent so much time putting together. The rings, the things people aren't really going to notice, but you're going to cherish at the end of the day. The grandmother's handkerchiefs, things like that. Um, and then probably when I get to pull the bride and groom away from all the craziness and they just get to have their moment. Like I find that very, very special. And it's it's nice to kind of give them that moment to breathe. But as a person and as a mom, probably the father-daughter dance would be the last thing. And that's just
Oh
from,
yeah, so emotional.
I do. I'm literally on the side, like crying over here, like, oh my gosh, my daughter gets to do that one day, or I get to do that with my dad one day. So
Right.
I like the layers of the day, but I would say those would be my favorite things.
Yeah, that father-daughter dance gets everyone every time.
Oh yeah.
Well, of course, as a business owner, what is your favorite part of owning a business?
So of course, the perks of, the flexibility schedule, I get to be with my daughter more, but also the fact that I get to create my own my own path, my own journey. I get to work with these brides and these women that are, going through different stages in their life, and I get to document that, and I get to, be the person in a couple years they look back and be like, wow, I'm so happy they captured that for me. So even just the aspects of trying to change people's lives through what I do with photography is very important as a business owner. And just helping other people like learn their cameras and learn editing and posing. I go with a lot of other photographers just to take pictures and help them shoot and stuff. And that's just for fun and just because I love doing what I do. So it's kind of neat having all the perks of being a business owner.
Yeah, and I think that goes right in with my next question. I was going to ask, how do you inspire others? So if you want to add to what you just said, because I do think part of that, my question, you answered by talking about how you like to help other people. But is there
Right.
anything else you want to add about how you like to inspire others?
So like I said, I love learning. I love teaching people. So that is something I really like to do and to help people when they ask. I'm very positive. I like to put out good energy, good vibes, always putting fun quotes out on social media and just really trying to keep people upbeat. I do business shout outs on Sundays to other local businesses that I've worked with and that I like. Um, and just spreading positivity is the biggest thing and saying, if I can do it, you can do it too. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, That is wonderful. Now, you recently did a styled shoot, which was a take on a twist on a brunch, a bridal brunch. And for those listening to us, Virginia Bride Magazine recently featured that shoot on our blog. So you all can jump on our blog and check that out. It's called Botanical Brunch. And we're actually proud that it's going to be featured in our fall issue of Virginia Bride Magazine. That's how amazing we thought this shoot was. So, Ashely, tell us a little bit about that shoot and what your takeaway from that experience was.
So, I had one of the other vendors come to me saying she was kind of inspired and wanted to do something and wanted to collaborate. And I just thought it was a really cool idea to do a bridal brunch because we're in the mix of COVID, and not many people have been able to have those special events and things like that with everything going on last year. So I just thought it was a very big women empowerment shoot. A lot of the vendors involved were either new venue owners that just started right before COVID. And then I was like, oh, what do we do? And then a lot of the women were, or a lot of the vendors were women. So I feel like it kind of went with the whole vibe and the energy that I'm going with now with my branding and everything. So I just thought it was neat how everybody came together as like a joint team and really put all their heart and soul into this, and how we all worked really well and close together just to make this happen, and just the positivity and believing, like, let's try to get this published and see what we can do with it. And so it was exciting, and we're all so excited, and I'm really happy for everybody. But it was just, I don't know, something fun to give some good energy towards everything that's just happened.
Well, it was a beautiful shoot, and we loved the fact that it was a little bit different because obviously we get so many style shoot submissions, and of course they're usually focused on the wedding day. So it's a great shoot just because it's different. So everybody make sure you check that out, and when you pick up your fall edition of Virginia Bride, you'll see Ashely's work in there along with the rest of the vendors that were in that shoot. So, Ashely, what are 5 random things that people don't know about you?
Oh, this is fun. So number one, I love Mexican food. I love Taco Bell and Mexican food. That would probably be the number one random thing. I used to be an esthetician. I used to actually I was a laser specialist, and I removed tattoos for a living for 10 years. So I just quit my job. Yes, I just quit my job in October to do this full time. So a lot of people don't know that I specialize in tattoo removal. Let's see.
That's something people might be looking at for the wedding, right?
A lot of people did. That's how I met a lot of my brides, for them coming to the office and wanting to remove their tattoos before their wedding. So it was kind of neat. It kind of went hand in hand. I'm a single mom of a 3-year-old little girl. She is wide open, and she literally is what keeps me going every day. And can drive me a little crazy, but she's fun. What 3-year-old isn't?
That's right. And they grow up really fast. So enjoy.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they do. And being a photographer's child, she has a lot of pictures, but they do not go as planned as everybody thinks they do. So she definitely doesn't participate as I'd hope to, but she's great. Let's see. I like astrology. I'm really into astrology and all that, zodiac signs and fun things like that, just learning new things. Is that 4 or 5?
I think that was 4. You can give us one more either way, because you're so interesting.
Oh, thanks. And probably something somebody doesn't know. I like to wakeboard. I like the water. I like water sports. So that's something different.
You're here, kindred spirit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what is your favorite quote and why?
Ooh. So it would be, I am enough, I have enough, I do enough. And why is that my favorite quote is because on the days that are the best, you have to remember and stay kind of humble that you are who you are and you're living in that moment. And then when the days are really hard, I can look at it too and say, you know what? I'm still good where I am, and I'm just going to keep pushing forward to be everything I want to be and better. So I kind of see it as if you don't believe in yourself, then who else is going to believe in you? So I like to make it kind of my own cheerleader, and you can use it in a good situation and a bad situation. So that's why I like that quote.
Love it. Well, I think people having you as their wedding photographer are going to have a lot of fun, which is what the wedding's all about that day, right? It's not about being stressed out. It's about enjoying your day and that moment, and you're capturing those memories for people forever. So I think it's just something beautiful, and people should definitely check out Ashely's work. She has a new website that she just launched with all new branding. So that information is going to be at the end of this video, along with some of Ashely's work. So Ashely from Photography by Ashely Dorton, thank you so much for being here today with us on the Virginia Bride Chat. I've really enjoyed finding out all about how your photography business works and how you work as a photographer. And I'm sure all of our listeners are going to be very excited to be in touch with you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. And we'll talk again soon, everybody. Check back soon for our next edition of Virginia Bride's Chat Channel.